I'm curious, like when you were discussing and you were able to talk to foreign fighters, like did you notice any commonalities of why people joined and even why they left?
I mean, that's a tricky question because I think there's kind of different pull factors and push factors, I would say, right? And so when it comes to push factors, um, everyone came at it very differently, right? So the Calgary guys I mentioned, one of the Damien Claremont, white convert to Islam, high school dropout for a time, had diagnosed with manic depression, was homeless for a time, and so he leaves with his good friend Salman Ashrafi, who is born Muslim, is married with a child, has a $100,000 paying job at Talisman Energy in Calgary, university educated. So they come from very different backgrounds, but they leave at the same time. They're good friends and so on, right? So the push factors are, and I think all the studies on radicalization kind of show this. It's kind of individualized. It's individual to the person, and which makes it very difficult. Aside from saying that it's complex and diverse, to actually get any real trajectory of an individual person. Having said that, so the pull factors I think are somewhat uniform, particularly when it came to Iraq and Syria. At least in the Canadian landscape, we saw kind of different waves of people leave. And so 2012, 2013, I would say there are a lot of people who left who were very much focused on kind of the Assad regime in Syria, the violence that was happening in Syria, wanting to do something about it. 500,000 dead, 10 million refugees, and they felt like they couldn't just stay at home and post on Facebook, that they had to get up and do something individually. And a lot of these guys, they were focused, I think, on very localized concerns, so getting rid of the Assad regime, and then they'll likely come back home and go about their day. Starting in about late 2013 and especially into June 2014, when the so-called caliphate is declared, you had very different styles of people leave, right? You had people who were kind of much more ideologically Puritan, much more concerned with the caliphate, with the Islamic State, fighting for it, helping to sustain it, helping to grow it. And especially later on in 2018, I remember talking to guys and asking them about the Syrian revolution, and they'd be like, "We don't care about the Syrian revolution. We're here for the caliphate." And the difference in 2014 also was a lot of women and families started to get up and leave, which we'd never seen before. And so that was a unique kind of situation as well. And so I would say particularly for the second wave, the caliphate was huge. I mean, the kind of establishment of this so-called, kingdom of God on earth was in itself a kind of galvanizing moment for these guys, right? So the idea that you could live in a pure Islamic society, be yourself in kind of a complete sort of way, you won't be kind of tainted by Western identity, etc., was in itself hugely galvanizing for a lot of people that left in 2014, 2015, 2016. And so I would say the pull factors are, one or two reasons maybe that they wanted to go there, in addition to kind of their individualized reasons for wanting to go. But the push factors are all over the place. Socioeconomic background is all over the place. Education levels are all over the place. Religious background is all over the place. But I think all of them kind of wanted to be part of this, what they consider to be kind of a important historical moment.